Namaste. Welcome to my channel Love Your Skin Tips by Yolandi. Today we're just going to have a look at doing a basic pedicure at home looking after our feet. Our feet is unfortunately one of the areas of our body that we tend to neglect, and we don't always look after it because we're either short on time or we are too tired. But let's just take a few minutes and just pamper our feet a little bit. Firstly, we're going to ensure that our feet are nice and clean, and we're going to follow basically the same steps as in a manicure. We've got our cuticle pusher. I've got an orange wood stick or the wooden cuticle pusher with cotton wool on the tip. I've got a nail cutter if I need to cut any nails. I've got my cuticle nipper, which is a sharp tool, so be careful. Nail file to file and buff the nails. I like using emery boards. Then I've got my foot file, which has got an emery side to it. I don't like the metal ones. And then my favorite foot cream that I'm going to use. I've also got my nail polish remover, as well as my base and top coat. Okay, so with clean feet, let's start with our cuticle pushing. Remember, always push the cuticles back gently. You don't want to over push or like really go rough with the cuticles because it is a very sensitive area. You don't want to hurt and damage the cuticles. You don't want to have any bleeding or any infections and things like that. So rather always just be careful and gentle when you do work around the cuticles or anywhere with the nails. You can just go with the sharp side gently around and slightly underneath the corners of the nails. Just be careful when you do go under the nails. Don't go and push too hard and too deep, as you can actually damage the nail bed. You can cause bleeding and it will be quite painful. Just doing the exact same thing on the left foot as what we've done on the right foot. Okay, next we're going to be using our cuticle nipper, and remember this tool is quite sharp. You have to be really careful and gentle when cutting off any of the cuticles or any of the dead skin around the nail. Always be gentle, don't overcut your cuticles as they will start to overgrow, and you can also cut too deep, cause any bleeding or any pain like that. If you're not sure how to use these tools, rather not use them. Sometimes what happens is the nails on the edges or just by the corners of the nails do become a little bit hard and rough, and you can just lightly nip them off as well. But don't go and nip off too much as it can be quite painful. So just gently, if there is anything, nip them, otherwise just leave as is. Okay, cuticles are nice and neat, and now we're going to be filing our toenails. And remember, always same as in the manicure, we just want to file in one direction to ensure that we don't break any protein keratin bonds in the nails itself. The shape of the nail generally should be a straight line. You don't want to have curved or rounded nails because then you will tend to get ingrown toenails, and those are really painful. If the corners of the nails are a little bit sharp, you can just go underneath with the nail file and just lightly round them just to make sure that the sharp edges aren't there. But always ensure that the nails are filed in a straight line. Okay, next I'm just going to go and check and see the corners of the nails. Sometimes you can't always file them out. You have to go and nip them out. When you do file your nails straight, they do sometimes tend to make little sharp edges. It's just that they're painful and you can't always remove them with a nail cutter. So I'll just usually nip them out just to make sure that there is none of that. Okay. Now next I'm going to be using the old nail file just to buff slightly on the surface of the nails. Now remember, when you do buff, we're just going to do it gently, just to go around to remove any excess dead skin cells and just to smooth out the nail itself. Do remember that you need to keep your nail file flat on the surface of the nail. You don't want to have it at an angle, because when it is at an angle you can file in ridges, causing a weakness in the nail, and it can become a little bit sensitive if you file too deep. So you don't want to do that. So once again, just gently go over the nails, make sure that there's no sharp edges, no rough edges. Sometimes with filing or buffing of the nails on top can help with removing of any of the stained color, but you don't want to over buff the nails, because you don't want to have thin toenails that's going to be weak, that's going to break with every second bump against anything. Okay, I'm just going to clean off the surface of the nail to make sure that there's no dust on the nails, but also to see if there's any excess skin or anything that I still need to trim or file, any of that sorts. And then I've still got clear nail polish on my nails, and I need to take those off because otherwise it's just become a sticky mess. Okay, now we're going to use our foot file. Now, foot file, I don't like using the metal ones or the permastone ones. I prefer the emery board ones because they just work so much better. When you do file your feet, always just make sure your feet is clean. And you want to start with a rough side. You just gently go back and forth on your feet, and just after every couple of filings you just check and see that the feet are smooth. Never go in a fast motion continuously when you are filing your feet, because it causes friction, meaning that your skin and the file will become hot. Okay, you can also over file your feet, meaning that your skin will become red, sensitive and painful. And you can actually cause bleeding once again if you file too much too deep, and you don't want to do that. Okay, you just want to gently remove any of the excess dead skin. You don't want to have sore feet that you can't walk on for a day. Okay, and after every couple of filings you just check and make sure that the feet are smooth, that there's no rough spots. And when you are done with all your filing, you would have to wash your foot file in hot soapy water. I usually use a nail brush, and after filing also just make sure that your feet is nice and clean. Once again, just the nail polish remover, just to ensure that there's no oils or anything on the nails, because when you wash your feet you don't always just concentrate on the nails itself either. So just to be on the safe side, make sure that the nails are oil free for the nail polish to be applied smoothly and without having any issues. Okay, so I'm going to be using the Nika Double Duty Base and Top Coat, and color I will see, I might just paint it, or I might just do it a little bit later on during the day. Okay, this is a color that I would like to paint my toenails, but I'll probably do it later on. So we are first going to be starting with the base coat of the nail polish. Okay, once again, remember, when you do use or shake your nail polish, roll it between your hands so that it doesn't cause any air bubbles and things in the nail polish. And also the neck can break, or it can slip from your hand and the bottle will fall and break. So same as with doing your manicure, you're just going to be using a little bit of the polish, starting from the back of or the base of the nail, and then just swipe across to the tip of the nail. Remember also to always seal off the tip of the nail so that the nail polish can last longer, and it just gives it a bit of a smoother finish as well. And when you do color, you do the exact same way when you do the color. Always ensure that you seal off the tip of the nail and apply a nice even layer. Okay, so I've just done one layer. You can usually just do a double coat if you want to. And what I'm going to be using for my cuticle ointment today is Vaseline. You can use either coconut oil or an actual cuticle oil. You can also use like an olive oil, depends on what you want to use. So I've got the Vaseline that I've just decanted from the container, and just put a little bit on the back of my hand, and I'm just lightly going to go around the nails. If your nails are still wet, you have to be really careful, otherwise they will smudge. But if your nails are already dry, you can just go and apply all the way around. Now this will just help to nourish and hydrate the cuticles, and also just make your feet look nice and neat. If you've got any excess, you can always just apply it around the feet underneath. But that was a basic pedicure. If you guys like this video, go and hit the subscribe button as well as the like and the bell so that you get notified of new content coming out. So stay tuned guys, and I'll see you soon.